The NBA playoffs are here, and the Boston Celtics are looking to not just get back to the NBA Finals, but win the whole thing. In case you're not feeling confident that the Celtics will win the championship, I'm going to give you 51 reasons why you were completely and utterly wrong. 1. Let's look at the most obvious reason, how they played in the regular season. The C's won 57 games, better than anyone besides the Bucks, so Boston clearly established themselves as a top championship contender. 2. The Celtics are coming into the season on a hot streak, winning 10 out of their last 13 games, and according to Kirk Goldsberry, the Celtics have led the league in defensive efficiency over the last 15 games. 3. Jason Tatum is one of the best two-way players in the league. Of course, there's moments in the playoffs where he goes cold, but he's still one of the toughest players to guard when he's hot, and he's also very valuable in the defensive end. 4. Tatum is coming into the playoffs on a hot streak, averaging 31 points per game on 56, 41, and 80 shooting splits over his last 7 games. 5. Jaylen Brown is one of the best second options in the entire league, averaging 27 points per game while shooting 49% from the field. 6. Like Tatum, Brown also enters the playoffs on a hot streak, averaging 28 points per game on 51% shooting in his last 11, including a pair of 40-point games. 7. Brown's court vision has improved recently, and it's evident when watching the C's. He's averaging 4.4 assists per game in his last 14 games, and his improved playmaking can give Boston an extra boost. 8. Their offense is fantastic. Boston ranked 12th in points per game last year, but ranked 4th this year, in part due to Joe Mazzulla's system of shooting more three-pointers, and the Celtics having the ability to make them. Which brings me to number 9. The Celtics are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. They placed 2nd in made threes and three-point attempts, and placed 6th in three-point percentage. 10. Many of their role players can shoot the three. Out of 149 qualified players, Al Horford ranks 2nd in three-point percentage, Malcolm Brogdon ranks 5th, and Sam Hauser ranks 13th. Grant Williams and Derek White also shot close to 40%. 11. They're very reliant on the three, but the Celtics are efficient from inside the arc too, ranking 5th in two-point percentage. Both Tatum and Brown can finish at the basket, Brown has a great mid-range game, and Rob Williams is guaranteed to catch a few lobs or put back a shot. 12. The Celtics have Marcus Smart, who is always loved and trusted. He's a personification of hustle, and he'll make a big play like diving for a loose ball, drawing a charge, or hitting a clutch three when the Celtics need it most. 13. The Celtics are undoubtedly the deepest team in the NBA when healthy, and it isn't close. 14. Their starting lineup will depend on the matchup, but they could bring Derek White off the bench. He's averaged 16 and 5 in his last 33 games with great shooting splits, and he could make all defensive first team. 15. New to Boston this season is Malcolm Brogdon, who has averaged 15 and 4 off the bench, shot the three very well, and could win 6th Man of the Year. He might be that missing piece from last season that puts Boston over the top. 16. They really benefit from home court advantage, as TD Garden is arguably the loudest playoff atmosphere in the whole league. 17. What would a good offense be without a good defense? With the rise in scoring, almost every team's defense has looked a little worse than last year, but the Celtics still rank top 5 in opponent points per game, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and free throw attempts. 18. Not only that, but the Celtics have a very versatile defense, which was on full display in last year's postseason. Boston can match up well against small ball lineups or lineups with size. 19. The Celtics have the most effective defensive strategy in the league. You guessed it, it's the Kornet contest. If he deploys this strategy during the postseason, opposing teams might not be able to score a single point. 20. The Celtics have an X factor in Rob Williams, otherwise known as a Time Lord. He struggled with injuries in the postseason and only played in 35 games, but the Celtics are a much better team on the defensive end when Williams is on the floor. If Williams can stay healthy, it will be huge for the Celtics. 21. In Marcus Smart and Derek White, the Celtics have 2 of the best defensive guards in the entire league. 22. They have Peyton Pritchard, who dropped a 30-point triple-double in the last game of the season. If there's an injury to a guard, expect Pritchard to get playing time and go for 40. 23. The Celtics have been much better at not turning the ball over. Turnovers were an issue for Boston in the postseason last year, but in the regular season, they committed the 7th fewest turnovers. 24. The Celtics are also great at moving the ball, finishing 1st in assist percentage in last year's postseason, and having the 4th highest assist-to-turnover ratio this season. If Boston can move the ball well and heavily limit turnovers, they're going to be extremely hard to beat. 25. They aren't held back by their head coach. Sure, Joe Mazzulla hasn't been perfect in his first year as head coach, but he's still done an incredible job considering the situation he was thrown into. He's helped revitalize the offense, players clearly respect him, and I trust his decision-making enough come playoff time. 26. They should be well rested after their first-round matchup. The Atlanta Hawks should be a breeze, as they have a terrible defense, and Boston has won their last 5 games against them. 27. Their likely second-round matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers, have struggled against the Celtics, losing 4 of their last 5 games against Boston, and in the one game they won, Boston was missing Brown and Rob Williams. As Joel Embiid once said, "It's not a rivalry, they always kick our ass." 28. They've shown that they can beat their biggest competitor in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks. They destroyed them on Christmas, narrowly lost in overtime while missing their entire starting lineup, and recently beat the Bucks by 41 on the road with both teams fully healthy. 29. Including the playoffs, Tatum has scored 40 or more points in 3 of his last 4 games against the Bucks. 30. No one can really stop Giannis Antetokounmpo, but with Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Rob Williams, the Celtics are the best equipped team to guard him. 31. Chris Middleton, Milwaukee's second option for a long time, has dealt with injuries and inconsistency the whole year. My take since January has been this: if Middleton is not like his old self, the Bucks simply can't beat the Celtics. 32. If the Celtics ran into the Nuggets in the finals, they will be able to stop Nikola Jokic, because they have Batman on their team, and as everyone knows, Batman always defeats the Joker. 33. Boston would also be in trouble if Ish Smith, a known Celtics killer, receives playoff time, but thankfully he rides the bench in Denver. 34. If the Celtics ran into the Suns, they would likely beat them. Boston proved they can effectively defend Kevin Durant in last year's postseason. The Suns aren't a deep team, and Durant doesn't have a ton of experience on his new team since he's been injured. 35. If the Celtics ran into the Warriors, they would defeat them too. Their defense is significantly worse than last season, and the Warriors have struggled mightily on the road. 36. What about the Memphis Grizzlies? They simply can't match Boston's offensive firepower, and injuries to Brandon Clark and Steven Adams have made their depth worse. 37. And if they ran into the Lakers, I'm confident the C's would be victorious. They have the defensive talent to slow down LeBron James, and LA's three-point shooting can be spotty at times. 38. The Celtics know what it takes to win it all. Tatum and Brown have been to 3 Eastern Conference Finals now, and every key player except Brogdon was on the team that made it to the finals last season. Their postseason experience is going to give them a slight edge. 39. The Celtics are looking to avenge their 2022 finals loss to the Warriors, and it's going to be a key motivator for them this postseason. In an interview this week, Rob Williams noted how the loss drove the Celtics to focus on the team's success rather than individual success more than ever this season. 40. On that note, the Celtics aren't an ego-driven team. In that same interview, Williams noted how willing Boston's players are to take accountability and receive criticism. 41. After feeling fatigued in the finals last season, Jason Tatum went on a diet to eat healthier, so hopefully he'll feel less fatigued as the Celtics get deeper into the playoffs. 42. The Celtics have the deserving Defensive Player of the Year in Sam Hauser, who led all qualified players this season with a 106.4 defensive rating. 43. Boston proved they could beat the league's best talent, finishing with 33 wins against teams at or above 500, the most in the league. 44. Al Horford was incredible in last year's postseason, and in the regular season, he was one of the top 3-and-D big men in the league. This year, he's benefited from some extra rest, so he'll be fresher for the playoffs. 45. Joe Mazzulla knows he needs to call more timeouts now, so hopefully he'll use them more effectively. 46. This ties back to the team having great depth, but if Rob Williams gets injured, they have capable replacements. Mike Muscala can knock down threes, although Blake Griffin or Luke Cornett provide better defense and rebounding. Of course, none come close to matching Rob's production, but they can at least step in for 10 to 15 minutes and be valuable to winning basketball. 47. Joe Mazzulla's flippant attitude towards the presence of the British royal family will appease the gods of this country and sharply increase Boston's chances of winning a title. 48. When it comes to net rating, or a team's point differential over 100 possessions, the Celtics lead the NBA at 6.7. For comparison, the Cavaliers are second with a 5.6 net rating. 49. The Celtics led the league in PI, or player impact estimate, at 53.4. The last 6 NBA champions have placed top 4 as a team in player impact estimate. 50. The Celtics are a good rebounding team. They rank 3rd in the NBA in defensive rebounds, and their opponents grab the fewest offensive boards in the league. 51. A joint duckboat championship parade with the Bruins would be the coolest thing that's ever happened, so it's going to happen. That's going to be it for this video. Sorry if the quality of this video was a little off at points. I was just really trying to get this video out as soon as I could. I'm hoping to make some more cool content on this channel soon, and not just Celtics related stuff, so I'd appreciate it if you subscribe and leave a like on the video. See you in the next one.